Let's just dive right in, shall we? There's this hidden flaw in the way we all think about money. And it's so powerful that it can make even the absolute smartest people, we're talking doctors, lawyers, engineers, end up completely broke. And here's the crazy part. It's got nothing to do with how smart they are or how much they make. It's all about this ancient battle raging between our survival mode brain and our modern day bank account. So yeah, that's the big question, right? How on earth can people with genius-level IQs, people who are experts in really complicated fields, turn around and make such just awful financial decisions? Well, the answer is kind of wild. It's surprisingly simple, but at the same time, it's gonna feel like it goes against everything you think you know. And boom, there it is. That's the secret right there. Your brain, it's wired for survival, not for spreadsheets. It wasn't built for a world of 401ks and index funds. It was forged out on the savannah where the only thing that mattered was the threat right in front of your face. So when you try to apply that ancient wiring to your money, you get this constant, brutal tug of war between instinct and logic. Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea, and it's a doozy. It's what we call the intelligence trap. You'd think, logically, that being smarter would be like a shield for your money, right? But what's fascinating and kind of scary is that it often does the exact opposite. And look, this isn't just some theory I cooked up. This is real science. A Nobel Prize winner, a guy named Daniel Kahneman, came up with something called prospects theory. And what it proves, basically, is that when we're dealing with money, we don't think logically. Nope, we feel. We make decisions based on emotion. And probably the most powerful and most expensive feeling our brain turns out, it's that gut-wrenching fear of losing. So let's dig into that, because this is bias number one. It's called the fear of loss, or more technically, loss aversion. And believe me, this single instinct is the engine behind so many of our worst financial screw-ups. All right, let's make this super real. I want you to look at this bet. It's a simple coin flip. Heads, you win 110 bucks. Tails, you lose 100. Now, the math here is a no-brainer. You stand to win more than you can lose. You should take this bet every single time. And yet, study after study shows that most people, maybe even you, would say, no thanks. Why? What's going on there? This chart, this tells the whole story. Just look at it. See how the bar for the pain of loss is like twice as tall as the one for the joy of gain? That's not just a drawing. That's how it feels in your head. Your brain literally experiences the sting of losing $100 twice as powerfully as the pleasure of gaining $100. That imbalance, right there, is loss aversion. And it's the exact reason people panic and sell everything when the market dips. Okay, so how in the world do you fight something so hardwired into you? Well, here's the playbook. First, you gotta change your language. It's not a loss. Call it a temporary price fluctuation. Words matter. Second, you have to starve the fear monster. That means stop checking your portfolio every single day. Just stop. And third, and this is the big one, the ultimate weapon, you automate everything. You make the smart decision to invest once, and then you let the system run without your emotional brain getting a chance to meddle. Now, that fear of loss, it gets supercharged when you see everyone around you freaking out too. And that brings us perfectly to our second big bias. Following the crowd. You know it as herd mentality. It's that deep, primal urge to just do what everyone else is doing, even if, deep down, you know it's a terrible idea. I mean, just think back to the crypto craze in 2021. Remember that? Your uncle who barely knows how to use his email was suddenly asking you about NFTs? Your coworker was trying to day trade meme coins on their lunch break? That feeling was everywhere. The FOMO, the fear of missing out, was off the charts. And that, my friends, was a perfect storm of herd mentality. It's what drives sane people to buy at the absolute top of the market, right before it all comes crashing down. And here's the truly terrifying part. It doesn't take much to start a stampede. Seriously, research shows that it only takes about 5% of a group to start moving for the other 95% to just fall in line. Your brain doesn't stop to ask questions. It sees the herd running and its only thought is, whoa, they must know something I don't. I better run too. So the obvious question is, how do you fight that? Well, you fight it with probably the single most famous quote in all of finance. You've heard it before from Warren Buffett, but this isn't just a clever little saying. You have to think of it as a direct command for your behavior. It is the literal, actionable antidote to herd mentality. Your one job is to zig when the rest of the world is zagging. So let's build a system with some hard and fast rules. Rule number 1, write down your investment plan when you are calm, cool, and collected. And then you stick to it, no exceptions. Rule 2, for any big financial move that's not part of your plan, you must use a mandatory 48-hour waiting period. That impulse to join the herd, it fades really fast. And finally, rule 3, always ask yourself this one simple question. Would I be doing this if absolutely nobody was talking about it? If the answer is no, then you walk away. You know, that urge to follow the crowd, it's almost always driven by this desire to get rich quick. And that desire for right now, well, that leads us to our third and maybe the most costly bias of all, the now deception. This is the endless battle between the person you are today and the person you want to be tomorrow. Let me ask you this. Look at this choice right here. Would you rather have $100 in your hand right now or $120 in just 30 days? I mean, think about that. That's a 20% return in a month. That's an insane investment. And yet, over and over again, when people are offered this choice, they take the $100 today. Our brain is just wired to crave that immediate reward, and it basically ignores the bigger payoff down the road. And if you want to see the real devastating cost of this now deception, look at this number. This is the difference in wealth you could have just by starting to invest at age 25 versus waiting until 35. You could literally cut your retirement nest egg in half. It's not about being a brilliant investor, it's about the massive invisible penalty you pay every single time you choose now instead of later. And this leads us to a really, really important truth. You have to get this. You can't beat this bias with willpower. You can't just try harder. Your brain's desire for now is just too strong. The only way to win this fight is to build systems that take willpower out of the equation entirely. Systems that make the right choice the default choice. So here's exactly how you build that system. You automate every single long-term financial goal. Your retirement account, your savings, your brokerage account. Set it up so the money moves automatically before you even see it, before you can spend it. And then, for those moments when you do have to make a choice, you have to make your future self a real person. Literally stop and ask, what does the 65-year-old version of me need me to do in this exact moment? When you picture that person, you give them a voice in the fight against that impulse for now and prick your ego just a little, that it's so romanticized when it comes to our chances at financial freedom. All right, we've met the 3 big villains, right? The fear of loss, the herd mentality, and the now deception. You now know exactly how your brain is secretly working against your wallet. So let's pull all of this together. Let's build a simple, practical action plan you can use to start outsmarting your own brain, starting right now. Here it is, simple as this, your 3-step system to build a better financial brain. Step 1, automate your future to beat that now deception. Set it and forget it. Step 2, use that 48-hour rule on any big emotional decision to escape the herd. And step 3, change your words. Reframe a market dip from a scary loss to a boring price change to tame your fear. That's it. That's your entire toolkit. And let's wrap up with this idea, because honestly, if you remember one thing, make it this. Your brain isn't the bad guy here. It's not your enemy. It's just a really, really old piece of hardware that's doing exactly what it was built for. So the goal is not to fight your brain, to try and overpower it with willpower. That's a losing battle. The goal is to understand it, to respect it, and then to build a smarter system for it to work in. A system where doing the right thing for your future is the easiest thing you can possibly do.